It's more than basic. It's a portion of his rap at the core is ancient. It's supported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're bored of fake shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the core is a normal placement. Tattoos on my arm in a form of face.
Guys, I've got great news. We've got a new Patreon.
Nice.
I'd like to give a full-throated, full-hearted shout-out to my new Patreon, Mike Crawford. Yay!
Oh, God,
Mike Crawford.
Mike Crawford, you just blew out my ears.
I warned everyone it was full-throated. Mike, your 5 bones will be put to great use. You guys do not know how much $5 a month helps a person. It helps a person quite a bit as they add up. So, Mike, you're jumped in. You're part of the crew. Enjoy the bonus content. And
is there bonus content?
You're going to have to figure that out, Ben.
Well, I can't
There's only one way to figure out if there's bonus content, people.
This is an impasse. This is a big impasse.
It's just $5 to unlock the secrets.
You realize
that's so much easier than what Harry Potter had to go through.
You realize that I'm going to bleed you out on the street if I find out that people are paying $5 and not getting anything.
Hey, they're getting what they paid $5 for.
Okay. Address all complaints to @BlackCrowBrother on Instagram or @BlackCrowCrage on Twitter.
Yeah, look, guys. I'm going to let Ray keep going because I'm still hot from Sunday.
Yeah, he's very angry about a certain thing, which we're going to get into in just a second on Tattoo with Children. What you're listening to, Tattoo with Children. I'm your host, Flavor Rain. Seat A across from me in Seat B is the very angry Dread Pirate Benjamin, and across from us both is the very not angry, cool-headed CIO No Pain. All right, so what is the bug up Ben's ass? Well, the Tennessee Titans.
No,
a 9-7 squad of some renown last week shocked the world by shutting down the New England Patriots and eliminating them from contention.
That's correct.
And this week, they shocked me on a very personal level by beating the brakes off of the Baltimore Ravens, which, quite frankly, I didn't think anybody was going to do this season.
It was probably the most impressive game I've seen this year.
It was incredible. Like, I don't like the Titans.
Yeah.
They're in the same conference as my Texans.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are our conference rivals, and they are the former Houston Oilers. Like, I have every reason to dislike them. I have got to give it up for the Tennessee Titans. They are a hell of a football team.
Yeah, Baltimoreans are not known for being quiet.
No.
Is that correct, Baltimoreans?
Yeah, it is.
It is now.
Because I said it.
It is now.
Baltimoreans are known
From Baltimoria?
Yeah. They're known for their passionate displays of violence.
Yes. They're known for if you ever watched The Wire, that whole thing takes place in Baltimore. Just to let you know what it's like to be in Baltimore.
Right, and it's a fictional story, but if you've ever read anything about Baltimore or been to Baltimore...
Or if you've ever been to Baltimore, that
like
shit is real.
Yeah, it's more like a documentary.
Dude, I've done a lot of time in Baltimore myself personally.
It's like a prison, apparently. You do time there.
It's like
he's not wrong.
Man, I would, if I had a different way to say it, I would.
Right.
Baltimore is strict. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and they're known a lot of it. Isn't Harbaugh their coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're known for their almost head-hunting approach to defense.
Yeah, they really like to get to the quarterback and then make him regret he got there.
Right, yeah. And so, and also their offense is, everything about them is aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, they take the field aggressively.
Yeah, every time.
They put their helmets on aggressively.
Like, I never thought of a raven as being like a bird of prey until I saw the Baltimore Ravens play football. Yeah. So the fact that they and guys, they had a great team this year.
Yeah.
No shit, they were the squad this year.
Yeah, they were.
And for them to get handled the way they were by the Tennessee Titans, like I just can't tell you how impressed I was by the Tennessee Titans.
They walked in and it took about the first quarter. The game was really, I would say it had no flow
Right.
for the first quarter.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But you could see little things here and there, just little bitty plays, little bitty dropped balls, little bitty tackles.
Yeah, like that maybe the Ravens were off and maybe the Titans were on.
And slowly but surely, the Titans took the crowd out of it.
Which is essential.
They took the offense out of it.
Which is more essential.
And somehow they had the patience to appreciate a 3-yard gain.
Yeah.
And I think that made all the difference in the game.
Yeah, I think that teams like Baltimore that are really aggressive really depend on the coach getting antsy.
Yeah.
You know, they're really trying to get on the coach's nerves.
Yeah. I think they depend on the other team making a mistake because they bring all that rage.
Yeah.
And they go, you're going to fuck up at some point.
You're going to try and match my energy, which you can't do.
Right.
And that's where you're going to mess up.
Right. And Tennessee did not, in fact, try to match the energy at all. They were like, okay, so we see you. You're going to an 11. We're going to be over here doing a 3.
Right.
But the thing is, we're going to do it really fucking well.
Yeah. Like that 3-yard gain is going to be inevitable. And you can't stop it no matter what.
Right. And we're not going to quit doing it. And everybody's like waiting for the big play and waiting for the thing. Thing never came.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
I got a little more respect for that coach, the Tennessee coach.
Yeah. He showed a tremendous amount of poise. Going into the half.
And interaction with his players.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, like, he was like almost talking to almost everyone.
Yeah.
Like, fuck what they say. Like, he'd run down and, like, you know, some linebacker would come off. Like, you know, when they substitute players in and out.
Yeah.
Some linebacker would come off and he'd run down there and, like, he wouldn't, like, you know, give him a high five or, like, you fucked up. He would just be, like, very intense. Like, hey, listen, we got to talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very much, hey, I brought you here to talk to you to tell you about this thing I just saw.
Yeah.
That would be Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
it
the
was
head coach.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was,
and I've been watching Vrabel for a while, and he has been developing steadily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from a coordinator.
He played for some great teams.
Yeah,
he started off. He started with the Steelers.
Yep.
Right. Then moved.
One of my favorite
to the Patriots,
Steelers, by the way.
Right. Mm-hmm. So he was with the Steelers since '97. Mm-hmm. Right, and then he joined the Patriots in 2001.
Yep,
which is like one of like the prime time, right? Like I know the
Patriots
are still
it's a great
still
time
good,
to be New England Patriots.
Yeah, that was a great time. And then he moved to the Chiefs in 2009. Okay. And finally, okay. Once he left playing, he moved to. He retired from playing to coach Ohio State. That's where he got his coaching career, was Ohio State.
Yes.
He's originally from Akron, Ohio.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
seems like a good guy.
He's always been a great guy.
Yeah, he probably won't like my get rid of Ohio platform then.
I mean, he's a great guy. Ohio's still a shitty state. You can't stop him.
Well, he's from Akron,
yeah.
Right? Now, I know a little bit about Ohio.
Okay.
I haven't been up in there.
Okay.
And anybody from Akron might love the Buckeye State,
yeah,
but would also completely understand the perspective of, why can't we just get rid of the entire state?
Oh, okay. All right, good.
Yeah, split it up between the states around it. That's
okay. So in the same conference, there was another team that played the same day.
Was there?
There was. That team went out on a great start to their game, and then they actually exceeded expectations in failure. Like after the Tennessee Titans score, I said in public and on social media, man, now the Houston Texans have to win against the Chiefs, because then we have an AFC championship that is Titans versus Texans, which to me is a wet dream. You know, like that's some shit that I've been wanting to see for quite some time.
Oh, we would throw a party that made the Super Bowl party look small.
Yes, I would absolutely not even give a fuck who was in the Super Bowl because I just blew my load on the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
The Texans went out and jumped out to a nigh insurmountable 21-0 lead against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wasn't it 24?
It got to 24. I picked up at 21-0.
Okay.
And at that point, I knew, my wife said, wow, they're at 21-0. And my face fell literally to my knees. And she's like, what's wrong? They're going to lose so hard.
You're about to witness the 43-year-old white male, beer gut, Chevy driving, premature ejaculation of the goddamn NFL.
So I went on social media, and everybody who had ever wanted the Texans to have anything positive in their lives all came together as one and shouted, no.
You know,
no.
The best tweet I saw was as it was happening. Lil Duval.
What did he say?
At 24-0, he jumped on Twitter and said, Houston, if y'all fuck this up, you deserve to have that ass beat.
Yeah.
And that is what they promptly did.
And then promptly at 24-0.
And when I say promptly, I mean like goddamn Amazon Prime.
Yeah, very promptly.
Not that shitty. Everybody gets 2-day
No,
delivery. It's
no,
like you
no.
went on the page, you went to order this, and it said
Literally.
free delivery tomorrow.
And what is that fucking idiot's name for fucking Kansas City? Tell me the coach of Kansas City. Because I saw him do it. I saw him fucking do it. I watched him. You can go back and look at the tape. What's his name? I hate that dude. God, I hate that dude. I've always hated that dude.
Andy Reid.
Andy fucking Reid.
Ben has always hated Andy
He
Reid.
was a fucking fat idiot when he was in Philadelphia. He's a fucking fat idiot now. He literally got on his phone, right?
Yeah.
Got on Amazon Prime and asked Jeff Bezos, hey, bro, how quickly can you have four touchdowns to delivered to the stadium? And Jeff Bezos said 180 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to drone that right in.
That is what happened. Jeff Bezos is a great guy, and he delivered immediately in less than 4 minutes 4 touchdowns.
I am going to make a bit of a prediction here based upon looking at this picture of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
That when those diabetes commercials finally stop starring whatever his name is,
Yeah.
that
Wilford
Andy
Brimley?
Reid. Yeah, once Wilford Brimley is really done with all that,
Right.
he's next. Andy Reid
Yeah.
is going to retire from coaching
Yeah.
and do diabetes commercials.
I got to tell you, I haven't been this sick to my stomach.
Look, here's
It
the
was
deal.
probably the last time I was this sick to my stomach. Dallas was playing San Francisco in the NFC championship game. Because no matter how those games turned out, right?
Yeah.
Either team deserved to be in the Super Bowl.
Right. Every time.
And so you didn't know how it was going to go.
Right.
I wanted to throw up just like that.
So here's the deal, and I want everyone in the world to understand this. The Houston Texans are a great squad of players.
Fuck, they're a good team.
They're one of the greatest football teams I've ever seen assembled. And they have possibly the worst coach for any sort of winning formula I've ever seen. The reason why we were all positive that the Texans were going to lose that game is because their coach is essentially, in his core being, a loser. He is a person who will look for a way to lose. That is just a fact of O'Brien.
Yeah.
That is his life. That is
Right.
his existence. That is his ego.
Right.
Like if in today's society, he is known as a cuck. You hear me, O'Brien? You are a cuck. That is your problem. You will never be that guy who comes through for his guys. You need to get out of the way. You have a squad of tremendous human beings, and you don't know what to do with that.
There's a Class 3 division school in northern Idaho
Yeah.
that probably could
Definitely needs a
could
coach.
definitely use a coach that
Who will develop their young minds, develop their developing
And send-
athletic abilities.
and send them on to people who like to win. I like. It's so difficult for me to even get into this conversation because it was like I know what those players are going to take away from it. I know the dropped passes they're going to take away from it. I know the missed tackles they're going to take away from it. And I also know that today they're having to deal with aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, moms, dads, co-workers, acquaintances who are going to relive every honestly, if I remember the Houston Texans today, I would take whatever money I had, leave the country, and leave my cell phone here.
I would do the exact same thing.
And I'd get a new cell phone in whatever country I got to probably like find drug dealers and hookers.
I mean, until the end of March.
Yeah,
like not for a whole.
Yeah, right. No, not forever, but definitely like a 30-day fast off of social.
Yeah,
Because the thing is, nothing that can be said today, okay,
yeah,
is true about why they lost.
yes. Except for the fact that they lost because of their coaching.
Yes, and it's not all their coaching; it's one coach.
One coach, one guy. Okay, like I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but I just know that NFL players are like children in this way. They blame themselves for everything.
Yeah.
Even when it's obvious it's their parents' fault.
Right.
And this is obviously not their fault, but they're going to blame themselves. And I just want to say, Texans, y'all are my guys.
Yeah.
You are the squad.
Yeah.
I love you more today than I did yesterday.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking crush next year.
They're going to fucking crush.
Yeah.
But their coach is a piece of shit and has to go. We're going to take a quick break.
My name ain't Mikey, but yeah, I rock. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't.
You're back with Tattoo with Children. We're just talking about football because it's Monday and we like to talk about football on Monday. There were 4 games played. We've talked about 2 of them, and that's the only 2 games we're really going to talk about because fuck the other 2 games.
Yeah, it was 180 seconds, Ray.
Yeah.
I understand that you want to make this about this and that, and I understand how many different points happen, and I understand. Okay, I get it. But this is, and again, it is because I am so hypercritical of myself. I understand that people wouldn't understand that because they go, but Ben, you play on such a different level. Like your level is like 300 levels below the quality of an NFL player.
Sure.
Okay, I get you. However, I have 2 businesses currently running. I have 6 businesses previous to this that have failed. I have 2 more businesses I want to start.
Right.
I have, without going too much into detail, I was recently hired to do some consulting.
Yes.
And my salary, I set my salary, okay?
Uh-huh.
And my goal for that, by the way, my goal for my salary, my personal goal for the salary,
I'm listening.
which, by the way, is just simply fair in the area. It's
Sure.
It's not above and beyond. Okay.
No.
I'm I'm a 10th round draft pick, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm a 10th round draft pick. My goal is $1 million personally for my salary.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
That's what I want to achieve for what I've been given.
Yes. Want to make $1 million for
an average salary in East Texas.
Yeah.
Okay? So I understand all the different things that go into this, but I also understand personal responsibility. And if you tell me that I'm going to fuck up $1 million deal in 180 seconds, then I am going to call all 3 timeouts.
Right.
Okay? I'm going to phone a motherfucking friend 12 times.
Right.
I am going to completely change my game plan. And you say, well, Ben, how could you know that you're about to make $1 million failure in 180 seconds? And my answer is because historically, that is what you've done 23 other goddamn times, you goddamn piece of shit.
Everybody knew it. Like, he must have known it because I knew it, and I wasn't even there. Like, it must have been obvious because I knew.
Like, how do you not have a backup plan?
Right.
How do you not have, if you're a planning motherfucker, how do you not have 7 backup plans?
Like, when it's 24-14, how do you not stop everything?
So I own a tattoo.
Everything.
I own a tattoo shop. Okay?
Yeah, you do.
So if I walk out there and a motherfucker walks up to me with a baseball bat and completely destroys both my legs and both my arms.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that happens following this podcast.
Right.
Now,
Absolutely possible.
Now Ben has no arms and no legs.
Correct.
But your wife was happy, sir. My point is, I know how this tattoo shop runs
Right.
because I have 7 backup plans.
Right.
Because I still have a brain.
It's
because
absolutely
I'm not
true.
Stupid.
It's absolutely true that should Leroy show up with his steel core bat and destroy rightfully Ben's arms and legs,
Absolutely correctly, by the way.
I would not stop Leroy,
No.
and I would.
You would put it on TikTok.
I would put it on TikTok.
Okay. See, that's
And-
why we're friends.
And I would go into the shop and say, "Hey guys, Ben won't be working today,
Right.
but that's not a problem.
Right.
Make all the money."
Right. And also, Ben and I talked about this eventuality.
Yeah, we already got a game plan, guys. We're ready to go.
Here's how it's going. And we'll talk to Ben when he regains consciousness in 2021.
Yeah, it'll be all good.
Right. But apparently Bill O'Brien's not as smart as my 40-year-old ass because he let his team get utterly annihilated in 3 minutes.
What do we do, guys? What do we do? It was like watching a goddamn Amos and Andy.
The thing about it is, Ray, that you literally, like, I was watching it live on Hulu. Okay?
Right.
And the leaves in my backyard were louder than the crowd in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City had so little momentum that you could hear the guy selling hot dogs in area F1.
Guys, Kansas City's fans were literally, the only noise from them at 24-0 were them booing their own team.
Yeah, like a guy in, like, I don't know, row 47F took off his jacket, you know?
Yeah.
And you would have thought it was a terrorist attack.
Right. So, I mean, all the excuses about Kansas City being great and their home team, home field advantage and all, that's all horseshit.
And by
okay?
the way, they are great. Okay?
They are great.
They have a stellar group of players. But
They're not a slouch team at all.
But they did not play as well as the Houston Texans for the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, I would say that.
Then I would argue that they played average.
Yes. And the Texans played well below.
And apparently we don't have a coach because we didn't call any timeouts. We didn't change anything. We just did the same old shit and marched straight to a 51-31 loss.
By the way, 51-31 is a unique score in the NFL. No game until yesterday has ended with that score.
Correct.
Scoregami.
Yeah.
That's something to celebrate, right? Right? Huh?
Right. Well, and also the over-under was probably somewhere around 56, I'm guessing. I haven't looked it up. The over-under is where Vegas sets the points scored by both teams together. So let's say the score ended up being 24 at the end. Well, yeah, but let's just do it straight for our listeners in case they're not familiar with gambling. Let's say you thought the game was going to end in a tie in full time, 24-24, so that's 48.
Yeah.
So Vegas would set the over-under at 48, meaning if you bet the over, if the game goes 27-24, you win.
Right.
If the game goes 24-21, then you lose, unless you bet the under. I'm guessing, based on Another Life, that the over-under for this game was probably somewhere between 56 and 59.
I would say somewhere in there.
Because these teams are both big scoring teams.
They both had a lot of scoring
opportunities. It could have even been 61.
It might have broke 60. I'm not sure. Like that's worth looking up, Mike, if you could.
Yeah, just to type in over-under on Houston and...
the Houston Chiefs, Texans Chiefs, over-under.
There has never been over-under at 82. That's an NBA over-under.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
That's when the Pelicans.
In the NFL.
That's when the Pelicans play the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
and neither NBA team has seen the definition of the word defense.
Yeah, like it's
50.5.
What?
50.5.
50.5.
Motherfucking Vegas set this game. Literally, Kansas City in 3 minutes destroyed what guys who make money for a living do.
Yep. Yeah, that's that's unreal.
Yep,
that's unreal. All right, guys. Enough about my Texans abject failure.
Next time. Here. Okay, so because it's not enough, Bill O'Brien.
God.
Dear Bill O'Brien, next time your flaccid white ass has a 24-point lead, I've got a backup plan for you from the bowels of East Texas.
Okay.
Call a timeout, okay? Look real serious. Tell your entire offense to go play defense. Let your defense watch that one play because, by the way, the other team will not score. They won't. They won't know what to do because the quarterback's playing like deep safety. Okay? The defense will then be motivated to do their goddamn job after watching the offense try to do it. Call another timeout, look every man in the eyes, and say, I will personally give you $5,000 personally if you run out on the field and make this the last set of downs that defines your existence, because we're here to play football. If you will do that, that is plan F. You cocksucking piece of shit.
And that is a love letter to Bill O'Brien from the Direct Pirate Benjamin. You heard it here on Tattoo with Children. If you have any advice for Bill O'Brien that you would like Tattoo with Children to post or to state on the air, you can go ahead and send that to our Instagram at Tattoo with Children or to our Twitter at Tattooed With. That will be promptly read and promptly aired in the next episode or in any episode because Bill O'Brien will be hearing about this shit for the rest of his fucking life as far as I'm concerned.
I think we just found our new regular segment called Dear Bill O'Brien.
Dear Bill O'Brien, you cocksucking.
Just by the way, the odds for Houston to win the AFC Championship before this game, plus 650.
That was great. That's great. I love the fact that is how good the Texans are,
right,
and how bad Bill O'Brien is. He's a piece of shit.
All right.
All right.
Well,
We're going to move on.
Yeah,
we're going to move on to a different thing. And guys, that segment ran long because it needed to be said in that way because of how epic that was. But many epic things happen in the universe, and 2020 is shaping up to be kind of an epic year. Like, I mean, I think that's fair to say. Mm-hmm. So we talked a little bit about Iran in a previous episode. Turns out that commuter flight, in fact, did not have mechanical issues when it took off.
Nope.
In fact, it was a perfectly fine aircraft. It had good pilots, excellent flight crew, from my understanding, and the passengers were all happy to be aboard, right up until the missile hit it.
See, this is my problem.
God.
This is my problem with Boeing planes.
Yeah,
They can't
How-
survive a missile hit.
How is it 2020? Right?
it's 2020.
And they can't survive a missile hit.
I mean, for crying out loud.
Why don't they do the Elon Musk thing and get out there with a sledgehammer and fuck up their own shit?
Boeing, listen, guys, you got to have some missile baffling if you're going to have commuter flights in today's world.
They need a little Tony Stark influence and put, flares on all of their.
Look, okay, here's the reason why I'm bringing this up. I'm bringing this up because this highlights a weakness of mine. My weakness is dark humor. I laugh at shit that I shouldn't laugh at. I make jokes about shit that isn't traditionally funny because I don't know how else to react to the absurdity that I see in the world. I really don't. Like, I'm not trying to be offensive, okay? Like, I do not take human life lightly. I do not take tragedy lightly. But I do believe that tragedy is the soul of comedy, and I hit the comedy sometimes sooner than I should. Like, the first thing that came to me when I'm watching a missile end so many unsuspecting human lives, and we saw it in real time on video, is sorry. What is Trudeau's first name?
Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau sees this, and he knows that he cannot go on to television and say, hey, Iran, we're coming for you, or some shit that Trump would say,
Right.
or actually any American president would say.
Right.
Any
Because-
American would say.
Any American would say. He's Canadian. He can't say that. So he goes onto this podium and he goes, we have good evidence that it was a missile that hit the plane. We're fairly certain that it was accidental.
We know you didn't mean it, but come on.
Okay. So
I'm-
are you really going to get me talking about fucking Canadians right after I talk about Bill O'Brien?
Look, I love Canadians. I love Canadians. I love Canada. I love the way you are and the way that you act.
Yeah,
Because the
okay.
truth is they're very polite, but
They
they're
are.
also very violent.
Okay, but also, an accident is when you come too soon. An accident is when you
Well,
spill coffee.
I mean,
An accident is not
They
when you shoot a flight of civilians down.
I mean, but can't you just see that guy who he's going down? He's like looking at because all their shit, all of Iran's controls are in Russian, and so he's looking at the Russian translation
Yeah.
of all his controls. He's like, okay, here, and this is hit the Air Force Base button right here, and he hits the button, and immediately 6 guys go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" Said, "You hit the wrong button." No,
Yeah.
it's right here. And he said, "No. That is not what that says."
Yeah.
And then they show him the right button, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, what did I hit?"
Right.
And then immediately they get a call. The phone rings.
See, but here's my issue. That I understand what you're trying to get at. I appreciate it. I just have a different perspective, and my perspective is probably wrong. But that's not an accident. You know what we call that in the real world? An act of war.
okay.
Okay.
So
You
hang on.
killed civilians.
They did.
Yes, they did.
Now listen. There are a couple of mitigating factors to this scenario that you do have to take into account that might explain Trudeau's hesitancy to go all-out war on this, okay?
I'm listening.
Mitigating factor number one, the flight was an hour late, okay? The flight was an hour late taking off.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. No. I'm going to stop you just for a moment.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm going to stop you for a moment to just say to the audience.
Right.
To the audience. I'll say to you, that thing that you just did,
Right.
Ben also did right in front of me. Okay, I just want you to know that happened. See, this is the reason why I want video here.
So it wasn't a Delta Airlines flight, is what Mike said. Continue, Mike.
That thing that you did, Ben also did.
The reason why this matters, right, is because it doesn't take the blame off Iran, but it does shift some fault to the ATC, to the airport ATC, for not communicating with their military.
Oh, God.
That, hey, this flight is scheduled to take off at this time now. Please don't shoot it the fuck down.
I'm okay, Ray.
I'm okay.
Let him keep going. We're
okay,
good.
and so also the airspace.
But it's still fucking Iran's fault. They shot down civilians.
No,
The airspace.
but there's another point you're going to make.
Go into the airspace, because that's the other part of it.
The airspace... The airspace.
Apparently, Iran doesn't have enough desert, so they put their military fucking base next to their airport.
They put their missile launchers around the city that needs protection.
Could we get those guys some extra desert?
That is so fucking crazy.
But
it's so crazy.
The rumors. The only thing I'm going to take issue with is, while I like your comedic Russian display thing, right?
Right.
The amount of time they have to make these decisions with American technology and
Right.
airplanes is ridiculously small.
Dude,
right? Like
if there's an
split
American
seconds.
airplane coming for your city, right off your city, you're fucked. That's an F-22. You're not going to hit it.
Right. I was reading something somewhere about like the radar cross section of an F-22, right, is almost non-existent until the point at which they launch a missile where the bay opens.
Yes.
And then the cross section gets to be a lot bigger, and that's the only time you have.
It's literally the size of a mosquito until the missile launches, and the size of a bird. You're never going to hit the F-22 with a missile. It's not going to happen.
So yeah, like
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why Iran really, like, I guess they were trying to be victorious,
And
but they wouldn't take
400. It was at 4,000 feet.
8,000 feet.
8,000 feet.
Doesn't matter which one.
When the missile hit it, it was at 8,000 feet.
Okay, but to be fair, that's what anti-aircraft is for. Mike, I have a quick question.
Okay.
Where was President Trump born?
As far as I know, he was born in New York, but let me double check.
I certainly hope he was born in Ukraine. That would make me happy.
Yeah, New York.
Where was President Obama born?
Hawaii.
Without looking it up, everybody knows Hawaii.
All right. So this is my argument for why you should put Texans in charge of things.
So Flavor Ray has left the chat.
For those of you that don't know, I have a history of fucking up Flavor Ray's life by waiting until he takes a drink of something and then saying the thing that he knows I shouldn't say. But he's back now, having properly spit out all that perfectly good coffee.
Yeah.
My point is this. If Texans ran everything, most importantly, the important things, okay? By the way, a quick question. Where's Bill O'Brien from?
Bill O'Brien. Man, that's a hard one. He is from Boston.
Yeah,
Born in
okay.
Boston.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's
I
perfect.
bet. Yeah,
that was
that's
fucking perfect.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into why Texans should run everything. So the thing about Texas is this, and I know Bill O'Brien won't understand it, and I know Justin Trudeau, JT, won't understand it.
It used to be Justin Timberlake. Now that's Justin Trudeau.
But the reality of the situation is we would be having a completely different conversation this morning had a Texan been running things and you blew up a plane of civilians. Because as much as people can love to hate Texans, okay?
And they do.
we operate very close to rules like 1% motorcycle clubs.
Yeah.
Or the mafia, which is you don't fuck with civilians.
You don't fuck with you don't fuck with women, children, old people.
Yeah. Like
You know.
like the sacred text, it doesn't matter which one, and don't say which one. They're old. They're fucking written on onion paper. Like, shut the fuck up. They're old. They say don't fuck with old people. They say don't fuck with women. They don't say don't fuck with children. If you do any of those things, you're a piece of shit, and we're going to fuck back with you.
Right.
So if you had a Texan in charge of this, we would just be talking about the giant hole in the ground right now.
That is correct.
That used to be called Iran.
Yeah. It would have been, and not because Iran deserves it or anything like that, it's because you broke the rules. Like, look, we killed one of your officials who was a murderer, and you responded by hitting one of the two of our Air Force bases,
Sure.
which we said okay,
Yeah, blow up some tanks, whatever you got to do.
and
Feel
then
good
you
about
shot
yourself.
down a commuter flight, to which we say no.
Yeah, we said what? There weren't even any Americans
They
on
weren't
there.
even Americans on the goddamn plane, asshole.
Like,
Well, we thought it was you. No, you didn't. You didn't think it was me.
it had Russian writing on the side of it. What do you mean you thought it was? No, Mike, I get your point that it was an hour late. But the thing about it is, like, it doesn't just show up, okay?
And they're like, well, the airspace was closed. No, you didn't tell anybody the airspace was closed. And so they didn't know, therefore the airspace is open.
Did they not call the tower before they took off? Like, Tower 17, this is Boeing, who gives a fuck? Are we cleared for takeoff? Yes, you are. Okay, cool. Then we're going to do the things and take these people back to Kyrgyzstan.
Like,
You know?
it doesn't make any fucking sense what happened at all.
No, it doesn't.
Is the whole point. And to Ben's point about Texans, look, Texans do a lot of shit wrong.
A lot.
But the fact is, in Texas, you can do a handshake deal. Like, you can come to me and shake my hand, and that is
Yeah.
as good as a contract, and it will hold up in a Texas court.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way we do things here.
Oh, and by the way, if I run over your kids with my truck, I'm just going to wait here for you to send somebody.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm dying.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not a problem.
I ran over your kids with a truck.
Yeah.
Like, quite frankly, I'm surprised that, like, 7 breaths in, that your entire family hadn't come and fixed it.
Right.
You know, like, come on, man. Like, I get it. I get mistakes are made. I get human error. But also, it's 2020. You can't
Yeah.
go shooting down fucking... You can't just go like, well, America is on edge. No, America is... Like, did no one tell them that it's a re-election year?
Like, that's the other part of it. It's like, guys, we are in our president. The president of the United States was impeached,
And he's in a re-election year.
and it's an election year.
There were only like 3 things he could do.
It's nothing personal. To tell you the truth, you know, it's like that. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, there was like, all right, which country can we hit? We
Yeah.
can't hit North Korea. That's nonsense now.
Right.
We can't even look cross-eyed at China without them shutting down the economy.
Right. And Cuba is literally having a hard time turning the shower on.
Australia's already on fire.
Yeah. Like, what are we going to do? And there's no, like, giant list of terrorists anymore.
We just pulled out of Syria.
Yeah.
It's like Afghanistan is still hot, but nobody gives a fuck what we do in Afghanistan.
He can't raise the interest rates.
Do you know how many times he could bomb Afghanistan and nobody gives a fuck? He could
Right.
do it 200 times and we still wouldn't care.
Right. It would barely make the news. It's like, hey, Afghanistan is still a 5th world country. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's
You know-
it's now 95% glass, right? 92% glass.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't matter.
It would. So I get that you don't like what he did, but this isn't about an opinion.
Right.
This is about having standard operating procedures in place that say don't kill civilians.
And now,
You want me to be sad for you, okay? As a country, you want me to say that your people don't have this coming. But the thing is, it's 2020. Okay? Man, you remember that island where those fucking first world people still live, and people keep trying to go there and take Instagram photos, and they keep dying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the South Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a big proponent of, like, let's not fuck with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
leave those guys alone.
Leave those guys alone. They're eating each other. They're doing their tribal thing. Like, no one gives a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm with that. Okay?
It's that place where that missionary went to, thinking he was going to convert the people, and they ate him.
Exactly. Yeah, it was that guy probably watched that Rambo movie too. Anyhow, so like it's the same thing with like Madagascar. Like one of my friends here who's a missionary, she went to Madagascar and did a bunch of work there, and she came back and said like, "Hey, it sucks.
Madagascar is terrible. Let's not go there anymore."
We did good work, but I did not know that the capital of Madagascar runs like Zavala. You know, like I didn't know that. It barely has an airport. Okay, see, that's a third world country. I agree with that. I don't know if people know. Okay,
Right.
just because Iran has a different religion, I don't disagree with them from doing their thing. But here's the deal: they have television,
Yeah.
they have radar,
Oh yeah.
they have cell phones.
Yeah.
Not the bag phones like Samsung
Yeah.
and Apple.
Yeah.
Okay, they have watches like Rolex,
Yeah.
and they have fake Rolexes.
And they got all the internets.
Yeah, and they
all
got
the tubes.
And guess what? They got the Jordans,
Yeah.
and they got the Off-Whites.
What?
Anybody with the Off-Whites should know don't kill civilians.
Like the whole reason why we know for sure how this went down isn't because Iran told us, it's because Twitter told us.
Right. Somebody put it on Twitter.
Like that's the fucked up part about it. Iran couldn't stop the fact that all the
Right.
people had cell phone cameras. Like, is that a fucking missile about to holy fuck?
Yeah.
And post that shit.
Hit record, Bertha.
Put that on
I'm
TikTok.
sure her name wasn't Bertha, but I mean, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Somebody's awake at 2 a.m. So my point is just like, if you want me to have a different opinion of your country, don't kill innocent people.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
America fucks up and kills innocent people. But we got a little bit more going on, and we're not blowing up airliners.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying
We
is...
haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. Okay, we got to leave the conspiracy theory episode for another day.
No, it's like I get Ben's point completely.
Yeah, look, Iran has a branding problem right now.
Yeah, it's a real bad branding problem.
Because it's a real business problem, and the problem is they won't get with they want to be included at the table.
Well,
They're running shit like the guys eating each other on the island.
They destroyed their bargaining position. Like after we assassinated one of their government officials, they had juice.
Yeah.
They can come onto the world stage and be like, America is unfair.
Yeah, this is how
they do
this
unfair
is how,
things.
This is how you get to play, by the way.
Yes. And that was our mistake. We shouldn't have gave them that leeway. And then they promptly gave it away by destroying a commuter flight. So now you can say, okay, your government official is a terrorist. I can prove it because you just killed a bunch of civilians.
Yeah,
in response
to
his death.
Well, we want to come to the table. You don't get to come to the table anymore. Now you got to go 3 more decades without blowing up a goddamn plane.
Yeah. Now you're back at the kids' table where you belong.
Can you not fuck this up for me? And again, as much as I talk shit about Canadians, their response is not going to be small. Because there's only like 17 guys in that country that like to fight.
Dude.
But they're all in the special forces.
That is not true. Canadians love to. That's what people
see. That's you've not watched enough Letterkenny to know. Canadians love to fight.
Canadians are some of those violent people on the planet. This is why I love Canadians. You do not talk shit. You really don't. But when the shit goes down, like in every war America has gone into in the last century,
right?
We wanted Canadians on our side. Like we were like, hey, guys, come with us.
Yeah.
And Canadians like, what are you going to do? So we're
Yeah.
going to go kill like a bunch of people. Like, oh yeah, we're in there.
Yeah.
I'm on board. And I got the syrup.
Yeah,
You know,
that's actually true. I agree with that.
and they would go in there, and the Canadian brothers that have fought with America over the decades, you guys have kicked ass with us and better than us the entire
That
time.
applies to both the French Canadians
Yes, indeed.
and the English Canadians.
sure.
If you speak French and you're Canadian, you're okay with me. Speak French and you're from France, I've got nothing for you.
Well, that's fine. But anyway,
But
Y'all
the
motherfuckers
point,
towed my car. Fuck you.
the point is,
Oh man, that's Mike's trip to France. Fuck you, told my car. I've never had a good. There's a restaurant in Houston that I like to go to called Sweet Paris, where they do gluten-free crepes. And I love to go there, but the restaurant is built like they could have built a wide restaurant you could sit down in.
Yeah.
But instead they built like an alleyway in France, and so all the chairs are right up against each other.
yeah.
It's the most uncomfortable eating situation possible. Everybody's
That is like the worst design decision in Houston.
it is
Texas.
the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because it's France.
Yeah.
Like if it's supposed to be French and I hate it here.
Yeah,
But
like
the
you
food
walk,
is great.
You walk in and you're like, wow, this sucks. And also the BO on that guy.
What they should
Yes.
have done is they should have kept the same aspect ratio, the long versus the wide, right? But doubled the size
Yes.
to account for the size of most Houstonians.
to account for
Yeah.
the size that my big ass has to sit in
Because-
this alleyway
and
you've
again,
created.
and
Americans are just bigger people.
Well, but also Texans. I mean, we're just like, hey, I would like a 120-ounce steak.
I'm having to fold up my cock to sit down in this seat.
I might also like 3 of them today.
I'm ordering a crepe like, man, that shit was good.
Yeah.
All right, can we eat now?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
do you listen? Do you have more?
Yeah, it's like Sweet Paris. You know I love you. I've given you a lot of my money, but for fuck's sake, man, you could be a lot less French.
Yeah, I don't know. I just my whole thing is like, and I think this goes back to the idea of language.
Okay.
Like and that it's not an attempt to take this seriously because I know you've already had to spit out one good mouthful of coffee. Like it's just for a half a
By
second.
the way, guys, it was the last mouthful of coffee. That was the last swig. It was delicious.
Yeah.
And I nearly choked the fucking death on it.
Yeah, that's true. You did. I heard you outside like sputtering and spewing, and that was terrible. My point is, it's just not the reason I got so upset, and I upset you, and I could apologize for that, but I'm not going to. No civilians were harmed in the spitting out of that coffee.
I did miss the dog barely.
My point is, why do we use the words? I think this is something we're all dealing with in communication styles, in forms of communication, in dialogues, in conversation. I understand why we would say that that's an accident, but we're either going to have to make a word for accident involving a different magnitude.
Right, a magnitude of accident.
Yeah, because when you spewed that coffee out, it is a very different accident than when I slam the lid of the toilet on my dick.
Yeah.
Okay, that also is an accident, right?
Yeah.
But it's just an order of magnitude.
It's a different thing altogether.
Right.
There are accents and there are fuck ups, then there are monster fuck ups, major. Like we need some sort of
and then
hierarchy.
And then there's the fuck ups you do that ruin someone's life.
Yeah.
When you go drink, I'm gonna call out some people here. I mean, not by name, but when you go drink and you drink so much that you're like, man, I really want to fuck, but also I want to throw up, but also I could have another drink.
Yeah.
And you make the decision to drive home.
Yeah.
What happens next is not an accident.
That's not an accident.
That is you being intentionally a piece of shit because you don't want to call someone.
Yeah.
That is not an accident. That is you involving civilians. And unfortunately, I know too many people whose lives have been changed by that decision. It is not the same thing as me slamming my dick in the toilet.
Yeah, that's I mean, like you said, you can't even refer to that in the same language
Because people's lives are changed.
People's lives are changed that weren't involved, and it's a willful act of negligence.
Yes.
You know, like
If
at
you're
the very
old-
least, it's negligence. It could be malicious.
When you've done it more than once.
Exactly. When you've done it more than once, it's no longer negligent.
Yeah, and in other words, it is now. And when you ordered that 6 Long Island iced tea,
Yeah, you knew. You knew you didn't have a.
Come on, man! You just wanted to feel nothing for another hour, even though you knew already you weren't going to feel anything anyway. You've already had 5.
And this brings up a good point and a good vein of conversation, which I'm going to get into in the next episode for sure. The next episode of Tattoo with Children. What you've been listening to is Tattoo with Children. I am your host, Flavor Ray. And you can find Tattoo with Children on Facebook at Tattoo with Children. You can find us on Instagram at Tattoo with Children. You can find us on Twitter at Tattooed With. You can find me on Twitter at Hunter Vanguard. That's one word, Hunter Vanguard. You can find me on Instagram at Madara Shadow. You can find Ben Harbuck at Black Crow Brother on IG and also at Black Spot Tattoo Company. And you can find Mike Payne on IG at CIO Payne and at Payne.points. That's Payne spelled Payne. And we have a Patreon, which you guys are starting to get a hold of, starting to listen to me there to give to you the program you love the best. I appreciate that. I love you so much. That Patreon is Tattoo with Children. Just go to Patreon and search Tattoo with Children, or go to patreon.com/Tattoo with Children. You'll find us. You'll see my eyes, and you can show your appreciation monetarily. If you don't do that, I still love you. I just love the fact you're listening. That makes me happy. And I want you to take care of yourself before you take care of other people. And I want you to know that I love you very much.
See you guys
Later.
We were born to bring it back, but it's more than basic. It's a portion of its rap at the core is ancient. It's imported like a pack of some more observations. They're important like the fact that we're bored of fake shit. More creative, have the floor, so take it. Travel to the core is a normal place.